the Clyde Winter. And E.
Come on, it's not.
Introducing Dr. Clyde Winter. And on their name, put some respect. Yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, to heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
What up, though? What up, though? How you doing there?
What's going on, Dr. Winters? Peace to you guys in the room. Welcome back.
That's right. How you doing, family? I'm glad that everybody came tonight. This is it. Is that how you doing, JP? You know, the thing is that we decided that we wanted to call the show Reality Check. And the reason we wanted to do this is because I forget, but that's the reality, you know. No, family, we just wanted to kind of do something a little different, you know, bring out some information. How you doing in Infirmary Media? You know, we just want to do a little something different, a little something new, but we do need this because, see, too many people talking about the latest news. Too many people are always talking about gossip. Gossip is fun. You know, I'm not going to tell a lie. You know, I don't believe in gossip because I'm a man, but I love to hear it. I didn't say that. Please, can you cut that, Eve?
That's right. Look, because I think reality is that we're all operating inside of a system that confuses us, all of us. And then from there, I think we can take a step back and pause and really redefine some things, or at least come to a better understanding. We can give each other a reality check and not have to worry so much about how hard it hurt. I think sometimes we have these reality checks and it's like, oh, damn, am I the only one who felt like that? Or maybe you're that person in class who never wanted to ask the question, but then you're around somebody else who asked the question. You're like, I didn't have to put my foot in my mouth. So I hope these topics that we bring to you guys are an opportunity for all of us to kind of come to a better understanding so we can do something.
Yeah. How you doing, Denise Bryant? Yeah, it is. You do want to see action. You do want to see people move forward. And one of the things that is very important is that we do seriously look at ourselves. And you know, today is Valentine's Day, and you know, so it's a day that I didn't that I always had to be careful. You know, I had to always, in a sense, try to get a gift for my wife. At first, you know, my mother-in-law, and my grandmother, when they were alive, I had to get 4 gifts. Then I only had to get 1 gift. My daughter, well, I love you, but hey, I don't do that to daughters, you know. But it's Valentine's Day. It's a very interesting day. It's a day that that women always like.
I'm glad we're starting here because reality check. Let's talk about it. We don't celebrate holidays, mainstream holidays here in my home, and I think that it's we sensationalize a lot of things that we should be doing all of the time. And I saw so many posts today that's like, if you're with a real one, then you get Valentine's Day every day. And I don't know if that's real either, because everything's not fairy tales and la la land. We're not in honeymoon time all the time. However, are we really reserving love for one day of the year? Is that really what people are doing? I don't know if that's the reality I want to live in, Dr. Winters.
How you doing, Devin? Views, Naughty, all the way free. Yeah, you got a point there, but thing is that I don't know because, see, you know, when you're young, when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, you know, maybe early 50s, you know, you just make love like monkeys, you know. Then in a sense, so that's very important. But see, love is how do you define love? Is what do you want in a relationship? And because see, as I think I told you before, is that when I met my wife, I told her that I didn't believe in love. I told her I believed in respect. You see, because I told her that respect would last longer.
Right.
And I told her in a sense is that love you always heard the one you love. Love is never having to say sorry. I didn't believe in stuff like that. And so then so I had to in a sense grow into it. But see, just like you said, you don't practice any holidays. When we became Muslims, so when I became a Muslim, I asked my wife, I said, hey, will you join? Will you will you go along with it? Will you pray, fast, all that type of stuff? She said, yeah, but I have one thing. She said, I'll be a Muslim. I'll be a Muslimah, but I'm going to don't mess with Christmas. I always got to do Christmas, and that was it. And that's what she did. I did is that she always made Christmas. My kids all loved Christmas. They learned a little Arabic, they learned their numbers, all that type of stuff. And they're not a pray peace of the Allah and all that they'll mess up. But the point is but she didn't want me messing with her Christmas, you see. And see, this is the thing about being independent and about having a reality, you see. And when you do this reality check, when you look at reality, it's kind of hard because see, each of us have a different way how we expect our lovers to be, you see, because we play so many roles. How you doing, Essential Emmanuel?
Look, I agree with that because we all are approaching reality from how we were reared, how we grew up, what our parents taught us in our environment. But like you compromise with your wife about Christmas. I don't know if it was a compromise or if it was just a general understanding, but we don't celebrate Valentine's, but he does make it special for me. He didn't say Happy Valentine's Day or anything, but he did make it a point to make sure that I felt extra special today, I guess. But like I've been reading on Facebook, if you got a real one, you feel that all the time. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Right. I think that now, because of social media, everybody is trying to gauge their relationship or how they're doing things up against what other people are doing. And I don't know if that's a bad thing as much as we shouldn't say if it's I'm doing bad as much as, I'm sorry. I don't think it's a bad thing to see where everybody is. But I do think it's bad once we start saying I'm not where I'm supposed to be because somebody else is where they are.
I think it's complicated because as a man, you're always being judged on Valentine's Day. See, you're okay, you're good. You say you don't care, but in a way, most women, in a sense, they judge you. What did you do? You didn't get me this. You didn't get me that. And they don't have to say it. Just like my wife used to always say, the kids, I'm tired of my sons always bringing me all this candy that's making my ass get bigger, I said to myself, your ass is not getting any bigger. You're not getting any bigger. Your ass isn't getting bigger. But I didn't dare say that. But I'll tell you this, family. Tomorrow, if you see me at Walgreens buying that half price candy, and then look at my body, and you'll know why I'm the way I am. See, that's the thing. See these skinny women, these pretty women, pretty girls in a sense, they talk a whole lot of ish. Yes. See, because they grew up all their life. My wife used to say people want to cut her with a razor blade, because girls in a sense don't like pretty girls. So pretty girls, they don't really show they're pretty. Because see, if they show they're pretty, then therefore, in a sense, they feel that they can hide. No, you don't hide. The girls know it. The guys know it. See, and so so family, when you're listening to Eve, you got to remember, I think she was a pretty girl. And because she was a pretty girl, she wants to be invisible. No, you can't be invisible. You can't be invisible. What does Nadi say? What does she say? Beautiful smile. Yes. See, that's the whole point, is that you do want to share. But in terms of reality, how would you define reality, Eve?
I guess reality to me, when I was thinking about it, it's just what is real, just at a basic understanding. Um, and then once we start defining what is real, people have their own definitions. You know, you hear my truth, your truth, his truth, their truth. That is so confusing to me, Dr. Winters, because there should be the truth and then people's perception. You know, we're gonna approach things from how, you know, how we saw it, like that car accident analogy. You know, you've got the people in the car accident, you got the witness on the corner, you got the person in the car next to you, and everybody is talking about this one accident. So are we all telling the truth? Are we all telling our side of the truth? And then what's reality? I think reality is that there was a car accident, and then the people impacted by that accident should be the ones who tell the story. From there, we get a lot of witnesses and spectators and people who aren't actually involved in whatever is going on talking about what happened. Reality is that gets messy.
You know, so in other words, what you're saying is that reality is messy. How you doing, Blackbird? The foundation, and Jonathan Wright. It
That's
is
right.
because see, reality is perception. Is how do you perceive a situation? How do you perceive your reality? How do you perceive, in a sense, what is real and what is unreal? You see, because
Right.
see, you know, I think you made an interesting point, and maybe you could elaborate that real is what you think it is, or real can be from your family.
Mhm.
Reality.
Right. Real can be what you thought. So I guess, for example, oh, here's reality. When I grew up, I would go with my parents to vote, and we would go to whatever church had, you know, the voting booths, and we'd stand in this long line, and the whole time we're in line, they're talking about how we're not going to talk about who we voted for. Now, I'm not voting, they're voting, but we are voting, and our vote is secret. But I don't know what we're talking. I don't know who we're voting for. I don't I just know we're in this long ass line for 2 hours, and then when we finally get there, they go to separate booths and they both vote, and then the conversation never happens because I guess it's just this understood thing. Well,
Hmm.
imagine me getting to my big age and finding out that not only are we can talk about it now, but we should talk about it. This whole secrecy of who we're voting for really is just because people are uncomfortable defining why they're picking somebody versus they're just going through the act. So to
Oh
me,
wow.
reality was that we're participating in a system that we're supposed to because this is what we're told to do. You know, if you want
Mhm.
things to be the right way, then you have to follow the rules that everybody said. Well, the rules say that you vote for the president and for these different offices, but it should be between you and the ballot. And I never understood that reality because how are we going to get things done if we don't know who all we're supporting? At least in the whole in my house. Like,
Wow.
essentially my two parents could have voted for somebody different, and that would have been a cause of contention, right? Because they're saying that they're not on the same side of things, but they're both participating in the system. To me,
Right.
that reality was like, so maybe I should just not do any of that and just move all of that to the side.
You
And
know, well, I grew up in Chicago. In Chicago, back my first job when I was growing up, I was 10 years old, and I was spreading out literature for Mayor Daley, the old Mayor Daley, to be elected. So Chicago about politics. My father did construction work. Although he had a union card, he didn't get a job because he was in a union. He got his job because of the fact, in a sense, that he had a voter registration card. So see, me and my family, especially as my kids got older. See, I saw my kids as an asset. I had 6 kids, and so then so when they got older and voting age, that made my house a very important house because see, we had 8 votes. We had 8 votes, you know, and we would talk about who we were going to vote for before we went. And usually, me and my wife voted for the same people, except when Obama ran. She would never vote for Obama. She said he's an asshole, and she would never vote for Obama, you know. And I went and voted for Obama. I'm not going to tell a lie, family. I voted for Obama, but she was very angry at me because she felt in the sense that I had a wrong sense of reality. To her, reality was is that this man came out of nowhere. he appeared right after Clinton said that she was going to run for president. The next thing you know, he comes in Chicago. He goes to the right church. He goes to the church with Oprah Winfrey and all that. He meets the right people. The next thing you know, he's running for the Senate. He's running for the for a state office. And stuff like that. And so then my wife said he's phony. My wife went off her gut. She had a gut. I didn't have a gut. I still don't know if I got a gut. How you doing, Russell Richardson? And so she said he's no good. And if you hear Dr. Short went to school with him, and he says he's riding too. I don't know. I don't care. But the point is this: is that reality is all about perception to me, Eve. It's all about how you see things. You see, because there's you brought it up, and in a way, there's different realities. There's a reality. It's just like the roles you play in any relationship. Okay, but you have various realities. You have your reality within your home. You have your reality with your children. You have a reality outside. But then also, in my case, you have a reality based upon your race. And what I mean by that is that, because of the fact that me and my wife, we were teenagers and all that type of stuff together. And so we were in the Black Power movement. And so then therefore, we didn't believe in Martin Luther King-ish. We were from Malcolm X. We back in the day, we were supposed to blow up this police station on 51st and Princeton, and they never gave us the dynamite. People talk stuff, but this is what it was. So I knew my wife was ride or die. I knew in a sense that she would die with me, and she would, And so then, how you doing all the way free? Oh, I already said that. But so the thing is this, though, is that what I found is that was that reality. And so we had a reality of blackness. And see, my racial reality, it has to be based upon what Nellie Fuller said, is that we're prisoners of war. I hated that. I did not like somebody telling me that I had no control over my wife, I had no control over my family, I had no control over my life, period, and that I was in an open air prison. I didn't like that, because the thing is that I didn't want to see myself as a prisoner of war. I wanted to feel in the sense that I had some control over my relationship with my wife and children, but I didn't, you see, and I don't, because the fact is that, like you said, is that we're like little children. We had to depend on them for everything. And this is something that's sad, but I think that my racial reality as a conscientious foundational Black American is, in a sense, as a prisoner of war, you see. But I don't know. But it's all perception.
That perception is a reality when you realize that we don't have the same freedoms that everybody else does. I'm inside of our racial reality. You've got people who look like us who also have not shared our experience. And then they'll tell you, well, we're all Black. Well, okay, yeah, we all have melanin, but your experience is that you lived in Europe for 10 years in high school, and that you are from the continent, and you've got these tribal languages, and now you're here telling me that I need to do more to make things make sense. And I've never had that reality. We're all saying that we're all the same people, but then our stories are so different. That reality seems like we should explore what people's origins are. And then that kind of goes back to my truth versus your truth. I think the truth is that we're all experiencing this confusing system, trying to dismantle it or operate inside of it. So you've got people who want to blow up the system, and you got people who want to exist inside of the system.
Yeah, but we all want to exist.
Well, we all want to exist, but in what way or at what cost, Dr. Winters? Because if we're saying that we're going to exist inside of the system as is, then Black people can't hang out together. We because we're going to do something crazy, or Black people only like to eat. The bulk of our time is spent eating with family. We have cookouts and parties, and a lot of it is just food related, not necessarily business oriented related, maybe. I don't see a lot of those types of communal
But is that
gatherings.
but is that everybody's reality? You know,
Dick?
some people, they, you know, I remember when my kids were growing up, and you know, my wife, like my wife in a sense, she she loved my children, you know, and she loved the kids in the community. So, you know, the kids could come over our house, but the kids couldn't go in the our kids couldn't go over other people's houses because a lot of black people at that time, they didn't feel that children should be in their houses because they were afraid they were going to mess up their living rooms, you know.
Ooh.
And so then they felt in a sense. So then what happened is that you know, when my kids were little, before they got, you know, in their late teens, you know, everybody ate at the same time. You know, everybody ate dinner at the same time. Okay, breakfast at the same time, and that's it. Everybody had to be there to eat at the same time. So then the other kids in the community, they used to call my kids the Brady Bunch, you know, and they called them the Brady Bunch because my wife wanted us all to eat together and stuff. And so then that was a different reality for many people, you know, because other people, in a sense, some were latchkey kids.
Mm.
Then other people, their you know, their moms were out of it, or their father was out of it. I mean, maybe the father was whooping his wife's butt and all that type of stuff. And so these perceptions. So when you talk about barbecuing and things like that, those are things that some families do. But that's the reality, just maybe for you, maybe sometimes for me. But the thing is, this is that we have so many realities,
Mm.
and as you said, is how do we bridge that gap? Or should we bridge that gap? I don't know. Should we?
That's a good question. You're saying multi-reality. I'm thinking multi-universe, or everything is not so linear now because everybody's family experience is probably different. I'd like to say that we try to stereotype all of us, you know, under one umbrella. And I've been trying to not do that because of what we've been talking about. Everybody's perception, we're coming at it from a different angle. And it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that I can't see it like you just yet.
Okay.
So have you seen the picture of the 6 and the 9, right? And then I'm telling you it's a 6. You're telling me it's a 9. But, you know, you flip the picture over and now I'm telling you it's a 9 and you're telling me it's a 6. So who was right in the situation, or were we both right and we just weren't able to articulate that we're coming at it from a different angle?
You know, here's a guy, he says, Amir Laster says, I have my black women, I don't have to do cuckoo crazy out here. I think I love you, but I think you're lying, because every woman wants to see a rise in a man. Either he's getting an erection or he's arguing. They want to see one or the other. I'm sorry. You may be different.
No, I think
don't incriminate yourself. You may be different, but in most cases, in a sense, most women want to see a rise in a man. Most women, in a sense, they want to see that their man is paying attention to them. You know, Lady Tillman, how you doing? They don't want you to hurt them. They don't want you to be mean to them. But at the same time, most women don't feel you're paying attention unless they can have you doing something that they feel they want you to do. You see, that's what I feel. I might be wrong. You know, family, correct me. Amir Laster, you can correct me anytime you want. You may have one of those beautiful women who don't want to put you through stress. One of those women who don't really care if you let them know how beautiful they are. You might have one of those women that when they pass gas, you don't snip up your nose. You got the best girl. Mine wanted to see a rise.
Bruce is laughing at me in the chat. I agree with you, Dr. Winters. I think that women do like to see their man all masculine and doing something. But then what does that look like? I think, again, we are going to have to approach some of these situations with caution, because what I think is the best form of asserting your masculinity could be scary for somebody else.
Yeah.
We were talking, me and my guy, we were talking about when women get hollered at, like if the girl goes to the store and a guy at the store is like, hey, hey, you're cute or whatever, I want to talk to you. If she's by herself, maybe she just smiles and kind of keeps it moving. But what about when she's with her guy? So then what does her guy do in that situation? Is he going to get all big and macho, or is he going to, kind of put him down, in a way where it doesn't seem so aggressive? And I think I've seen it happen both ways. And the woman's man who gets all macho, she really likes that. And then the woman's man who is kind of passive about it, she's talking a lot of shit about that later. You didn't stand up for me. You didn't say, that's
well,
but that's just
the thing is, this
one
is
reality.
It's kind of complicated. Emil Astor, he says, we be over here farting and laughing. Me too. But again, that's a long time ago. But the thing is, I think that this is it, is that if I'm with my wife, when I was with my wife, if we were walking, I had a pretty girl. So I knew I had a pretty girl. I had a beautiful wife. And because I had a beautiful wife, I understood that men wanted my wife. They couldn't help themselves. Just like I thought I was handsome and women wanted me. And that was just the way it was. My wife would get mad at me because the fact that women would want to be approaching me. And she would be mad at me, but I couldn't help it. The only thing is I didn't have the light skin of my father and his gray eyes. Now that would have been too much. But again, in a sense, I think that if I was with my wife and somebody tried to hit on her, then therefore, in a sense, I would get angry. But what I found is that if we be in the store and I be in a different aisle, and then a man might approach my wife and she might say, hey, I'm married or whatever. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. You can't get mad at a person based on that situation. What I hated growing up is that I knew some girls that wanted you to hit them. They wanted you to hit them, and that showed them that you loved them. I didn't ever like girls like that. I didn't want to be bothered with them. Because see, the thing is this, is that, I felt in a sense is that that wasn't cool. Russell Richardson said most women are searching for a man's Achilles heel. A man's Achilles heel is if he loves his woman. If he loves his woman, he's baked and done, you see. And why is he baked and done? Because see, his whole reality in terms of how he relates to his woman is based upon, in a sense, how he felt about his mom. If you love your mama, you can't help but fall in love with your woman, you see. If you got some people, they don't have game, because they don't have confidence in themselves, then they want to beat a woman down, or they don't understand that they have to listen. See, our problem is that our fathers sometimes, like my father used to say, you got to watch out for them old sapphires, and so then in his eyes, I know him and my mom and my dad, I feel they loved each other, but they loved each other in their own way. And I felt I loved my wife in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And so then even when you talk about your guy, your partner, you see, it's very important to see, is that it's how you perceive things. It's how you look at things, See, but the point is this, is that if you marry a pretty girl, that comes with the territory, and you can't help it, because see, most guys are afraid of pretty girls. And when I was growing up, I was in high school. So like I may have said this, I followed my brother around. He was Mr. Ed, and he was known on 47th Street, And so then, so I wanted to learn how to talk to girls. I said, Ed, can I follow you around? Yeah, follow me around. So I followed him around. He said, here's your first lesson. If you ever need to be taken care of by a woman, find a nurse, a teacher, or a beautician. Those women will take care of you, no questions asked. So then I said, I got it. And then so I followed him around, and then I said, hey, I didn't see you doing nothing special. He said, it's nothing special. He said, to talk to a woman, you just talk to her about everyday things, you see. I said, damn, that's why that ugly guy got the pretty girl at school. Because he's ready to step up to the pretty girl, because see, Most pretty girls, guys are afraid to talk to them. And since guys are afraid to talk to them, a pretty girl will accept the ugly guy. They say, "Damn, at least he paying attention to me," you know. You see,
That's rich.
Yeah, it's the truth. That's why ugly guys have some of the prettiest women. You know?
They care. They can stand to stop for a moment and listen to what we're talking about. Now we're all smitten because he's listening.
Yeah, because he's listening. Because remember, the pretty girl has a hard time. You know, ever since she was in second grade, the other girls wanted to mess up her face. The other girls wanted to mess up her face. If her mama braided her hair, the other girls wanted to mess up that hair. You see, and so then the pretty girl, what she has to do is she has to pretend that she's invisible. I'm invisible. And see, when she pretends most pretty girls don't really believe they're pretty, but they know they're pretty, but they don't believe they're pretty. Because if they were pretty, why are all the other girls against them? Why don't the guys talk to you? You know, and so then it's complicated. But what I found in a sense is that in terms of trying to face your reality, so you face your realities. Facing your reality is very hard. It's very hard because see, just like you have that racial reality, then you have to have that family reality, and that's where the problem comes in. Because see, there may be some people in your family who you may not really want to really, in a sense, associate with. There may be some people in your family that you can love them, but you don't want to be around them. And so that reality can cause problems for you in terms of trying to relate to your your siblings or your mom and dad, maybe, you know.
I can see that. On your dad's point about nurses, beauticians, and teachers.
Oh, that was my brother.
Your brother is definitely on to something.
He lived off a lot of women, I tell you that but he retired as a policeman and he married a teacher.
There you go. See, those service roles are definitely something to pay attention to, fellas. Just so you know, Ed might have been on to something. But what you're talking about with regards to listening to us or listening to women anyway, maybe that's our Achilles heel. And then y'all have the same one. As soon as you find one who will listen to you or who will make you talk about you, well, now, I guess we talked about this last week. Well, she's interested in me. She cares about what I'm saying, or she's made me think about different things. And these thoughts that I don't know if I would have had these thoughts if she hadn't probed me. And then you were talking about the reverse, probing her and searching the deepest thoughts of her mind and just kind of getting in there and not going anywhere.
But you won't let me in. Women won't let you in.
Because we know what that means, though. Once you're there, now I can hear you when you're not talking. Once you're there, now I can feel you and you didn't have to touch me. So it gets very spooky, I guess, because reality is that I've allowed you to enter me and you didn't really do that just yet. It gets real. Is it sexual? I think we're attracted up there before anything else happens.
That's what they say, The thing is that, okay, Brad Murray says, yo, that's funny. As my aunt is a beautician and she's taking care of my uncle. And then Bruce says, I like nurses, but they work kooky hours. That's true. That's good. That's why you could have a woman on the side. No, but the point is this:
and a teacher, Bruce.
Yeah. See, the point is this: is that one day I got a picture. One day we're going to talk about on the show. But that's the one thing is that I've always wanted. I always wanted to see when I married my wife. After a while, I wanted to see how much my wife could love me. Then I wasn't satisfied with that. Then I wanted to know, what is she thinking? How does she rationalize and see as a woman, you let your partner in, and your partner has a wide door open. But see, it's just like a mom. A mom, her sanctuary is the bathroom, because that's the only way that she can use to get away from her kids is the bathroom, And in fact, her husband partner don't come. I want to shit by myself. Thank you. And so then The bathroom is her sanctuary because that's where it is. But see, at the same time, as a man, when you really love a woman, you want to know what she's thinking. At least you think you want to know, but you really don't want to know because see, you're afraid. See, you have two things. You're afraid in the sense that her reality, how she sees things, you may not be included in it. So you don't want to know that. But then at the same time, you look at your woman and you say, damn, you see what's going on. And and then your wife or your girlfriend or your partner say, you know everything about me. I tell you everything I feel. But then you look them in the eye and then you say, damn, is that true? See, and that's the thing is that I think that most women, it's always a piece of them. It's nothing mean, it's nothing dangerous, it's nothing evil. But I think that most women they never let you know everything in terms of how they feel, how they see the world, because some things in a sense they like to keep to themselves. I don't know.
I agree. I think that it's still, I don't know if seductive is the best word, but it is a mystery. Some of my thoughts aren't productive. So I don't know if that's something that I would want to just tell you, because where is it going to go? But that's just me. Sometimes we're not thinking about anything important, or it's just something really stupid. Now, I'm afraid that you're going to judge me for the really stupid thought that I just had, and not because of anything more than it just popped up there. Bird brain. It's a lot of women who have bird brain mentality, and then you want to know everything about what's going on in my head, and now I'm afraid that you're going to judge my bird brain. That's not fair. So I'm going to just do that.
Brad Murray said, man, my mama ain't playing about her bathroom. And then Nadi said, my mama told me, act confident even if you're not. And see, here's the whole point is that, see, that's the beauty. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of when you form a reality and two people can form a real reality. When two people create their own reality, what you may think is bird brain, it is bird brain maybe. But then again, maybe it's not. Because see, remember, the thing that allows you to get along with your partner is that you build a reality in which you don't look at everything that he does, and he doesn't look at everything that you do. Because see, if you looked at everything that your partner did, you definitely wouldn't be with him. You know what I'm saying? Because right. I mean,
that's what you were talking about with the farts and stuff. Like, some things are just, I mean, y'all will accept us because we're yours, so, that's mine, she stink over there, but that's mine. Or I can't smell her farts or whatever. But like the bathroom, some things are just not sexy, or it's just private. So if I start sharing all of my intricacies, well, now we're in a very critical land, because my perception is that you're supposed to accept me across the board, whatever. But what if there's a pet peeve of mine that I'm doing or that I have that I know you don't like? Well, do I change it or do I just not share it with you?
But how do you know that a person doesn't like it? See, some people play their part. See, some people play their part. See, a real smart man, he'll know when his partner wants to argue. Sometimes he'll go along and argue, then other times he'll say, I don't feel like it. I want to, And so then a lot of times your partner, in a sense, she knows that what is the best reality? How can I get him to pay attention to me? Because see, he's not paying attention to me, you see. I look at football with him, but he's still not paying attention to me. So I think I'm going to start an argument doing football. And then once the argument is over, even if it's not a real bad argument, then in a sense she's happy, and then you can watch her game and you're happy, but you pretended you were upset. See, remember you create your reality. See, the problem that we have The problem that we have as black men and black women is that we our women don't know how to be loved. Our women don't know how to be loved because their mama and grandmama, they didn't feel love. And because their mama and grandmama didn't feel love, then it's hard to pass that on to their daughters or to their sons, you see. And so then it's very difficult. It's very difficult. You see, when I was growing up, a man did not hold hands with a woman. A man did not hug a woman out in public, you see. A man, in a sense, would never say he loved his woman in front of another man, you see. He had to, because my wife in her generation, she said, you better hold my damn hand. You're not holding my, when I got married, I was still in college. And so then every woman she looked at said, did you go with her? No, I don't know her. But anyway, why is she looking at you like this? You know, I don't know nothing about it. You better hold my hand. and so then I had to move away from these things that were not traditional black man things. She wanted to make me look like a simp.
Oh.
Yes, I was looking like a simp if you going around holding your wife's hand. What you holding your wife? So what if she your wife? You the man, baby. You got to be strong and stuff, you know. And you know, it's almost like what Brad Murray said, like the quote from The Italian Job. I trust everyone. It's the devil inside them I don't trust. Not sure if this goes with the discussion at hand. Yes, it does go with the discussion at hand, because most of us don't understand that it is the devil inside of us. It's a little voice. I always tell my kids. I used to tell my kids is that they would say the devil made me do it. I say no, the devil didn't make you do it. Maybe you did it yourself. Because see, in your reality, you're talking about something that's outside of you, but in reality, there's something inside of you. I said, remember, when you be in that store and someone says, and a voice says, why don't you pick that up, Clyde? You know, and then you say, no, I'm not going to do it. Then that second voice will say, go ahead and grab it. You see, that's you. See, that's you. And so then the point is this, is that you always have to regulate yourself. You always have to, in a sense, understand is how you perceive. How do you perceive a reality? You see, how do you perceive your wife? How do you perceive your, your partner? And I think that people always make decisions. One day when I came home, and my wife, she was in the kitchen. She had her shoes off and she was grabbing stuff with her feet. I said, baby, why are you grabbing stuff with your feet? She said, well, what if I lose my hands? You know, I might still want to cook you dinner and stuff. So I want to be able to use my feet. I said, okay, that sounds logical. And it was logical. You say it was logical. But then in a sense, but at the same time, you say you hope that never happens. Mm-hmm. But see, that might be what you're talking about, you know, having a thought that's kind of silly.
It is. That's hilarious. That's exactly what I'm talking. Yeah. And then not that you walk in and she's being monkey-footed, you know, and just opening cabinets with her toes.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. See, the thing is this, is that I want my wife. I never said I wanted my wife. I want my wife. And see, because I want my wife, I want her now like I want her then. I never say wanted. I always say want. Because see, when you want something, you can't live without it. When you want something, you have to have it, you see. But then some people say, well, why are you acting like that? That's just a woman. Yes, but it's you said it earlier. It's your woman. It's your possession. You see, I used to tell my wife, damn, you only cost $10. She said, fuck you. I said, well, that's what the marriage license cost back then, baby. My wife might say anything. But anyway, you know, the thing is this, is that it's true. You do in a way, you do want to do that. But I think that as a woman, I don't think women really feel they own their men. I don't know.
No. My perception, and he's around here somewhere, so I'm sure I'll hear about it later. But no, I don't think we have that ownership aspect as much as we want to. But that's why we are insisting on the hand holding, And we're insisting on these opportunities to feel like we're yours, because if I can't, tell everybody that you're mine, then everybody needs to see that I'm attached to you. And then they'll make their own reality from there. I don't know that there's ever been a situation where a woman has tried to approach my man when we're out, as much as I see looks, and I see glances, and then sometimes, I want to snuggle up on him a little bit more because I see the looks, and that's vice versa. So we can communicate without any words to anybody, just by how we're looking with each other out in public. Reality is that until somebody comes up and approaches us and says, or tries to hit on one of us or whatever, we're just existing together. And it's not about I'm his or he's mine, as much as the world sees us, period. It's us. There's not one without the other.
Well, in the 70s, in a sense, you did not do that as a Black man. You didn't go around holding hands. White people held hands. White people would kiss in lockers. You didn't do that, and that made you look like a simp. Bruce, yep. Dr. Winters, they're like this, that, this. If we want to chill, that's true. But the whole point is this: is that it's all part of the relationship. See, that's the fun of the relationship. See, most of us don't really understand. See, because most people don't want to take a chance, because see, we're always inventing our realities. We're always inventing realities, and see, most of the time we're afraid to go too far. And see, that even in our relationships with our partners, we're afraid. And see, that's why the longer you be with somebody, hopefully you'll become less and less afraid to be who you are. Even though as a woman, you never really let your man know everything about you. It's always some sort of mystery. And then you might say, damn, that nigga know everything about me. What the hell is this? But then maybe it's in the man's mind. Maybe it's in our mind. You see, but don't you in a way want to create a reality in which you're mysterious?
Absolutely. I don't
Why?
want it, because I don't want it to be the same thing every day. So the same way. Well, actually, right now I can't really do a lot with my hair because it's kind of it. But before, when I had hair, I can change my hair. I can, or I can put on a different air, and now I'm different, but I'm the same. And I think that's that mysterious thing that we're talking about. We don't want it to be so mundane or so, boring, because then you're going to lose interest.
See, that's a very interesting thing, and that's good, because as you said, you don't want to be boring. But what is boring? Hi, Dr. Eve. Hope you had a good Valentine's Day. Mine was just great. I didn't have to worry about getting anything. I'm going to tell you something, Marsha. I have a better day after Valentine's Day when I can get that candy cheap and I can get fatter. I'm gonna be at Walgreens. Everything half price.
75% off that Valentine's Day candy.
Yeah. But the thing is this: is that it's this mysterious. Maybe we both in any relationship, maybe the man and the woman, they're both playing games with each other because maybe we want you to be mysterious, but then at the same time it's now this is the whole point. See, now this is the hardest thing as a man. The hardest thing as a man is as you said, women don't want to be bored, but they also want you to be part of the entertainment. And so then this is very difficult. See, that's why a smart man, he listens and he goes along with the program. Because see, if you don't go along with the program, what you end up doing in a sense is that you end up being lost. You end up being lost because it's allowing, to me, a really smart man who finds, in a sense, a partner, what you want to allow your partner to do is to feel free. And that's very hard. It's very hard for your partner to feel free because of the fact that, number one, she has to go to work, she has to play a role. But then at the same time, in a sense, is that Black women are always waiting for you to leave. How you doing now, Tones 5? your woman always is expecting you to leave, even though you are not going to leave. See, my father taught me that you can't flee. My father taught me that a man takes care of his family. And I told my sons when they were growing up, I said, hey, you got to take care of your family. Please don't get a baby out of wedlock. Please, please. And then and they said, and one of them said, why? I said, because if you have a baby out of wedlock, maybe the mom won't let me see my grandson or my granddaughter. I want to see him. And so then and I said, also, I said, I'll love you till the day I die. I can't help but love you because you're mine. You're my son. But I don't want to just love you. I want to respect you as a man, you see. And to respect you as a man. And I think that that's the whole point, is that what is my reality in terms of trying to relate to my sons is that, hey, Willie D, I was listening to him today, and he's talking about Monique and her son, you see. And he's talking about his Monique's son is 34 years old, and he's all upset and all that type of stuff. And why don't they go meet hand in hand and stuff like that? And he was saying that a mom is special. Yes, your mother is special. You want your mom to always be recognized as being special. Sometimes you can have issues with your mom, but even though you may have issues with your mom, you also, in a sense, try to find a way. You always try to find a way to be able, in a sense, to get along with them. And I think that my father taught me things that were kind of different. He said, number one, when you get married, you never tell your wife how much you make. Never tell them how much you make. They don't look at your check. Number two, you never come home at the same time. Never come home at the same time. You always come home at a different time. And I said, why do that? He said, because see, if you come home at different times, then your wife won't expect you to be home at a certain time, and then she won't be worried about you. Or you could be out, or you could go be with your friends, and and you could talk with them and get in trouble. No, so never come home at the same time. Never let your wife know what you're checking. Let your wife know what you're checking, how much you make, and always, in a sense, remember, in a sense, that always be attentive to your wife and all that type of stuff. Don't hit them, don't beat them, And so then that was the way it was. And so then I try to teach my sons the same thing, and they seem happy with their partners and mates. They seem happy. They have been married a long time. I mean, hey, that's it. But the thing is, this is that it's kind of difficult because, see, as I said, when a Black woman doesn't feel that she's being loved, it's kind of hard. It's and I don't know if a Black woman, I don't know if you could be married to a Black woman for 70 years and I don't know if they would still ever believe that you really love them. That's kind of hard, Or maybe you might know he loves you, but you may say, hey, will he be there tomorrow? Will he be there tomorrow? I don't know.
That's real. But that's trauma, right? Aren't we talking about trauma at this point?
Yeah.
Our story is so painful, and what we've had to go through as a people, and all of our family being disrupted or taken away or mushed together with other families. We've kind of been a people who've been able to pull from all sorts of different areas and then make a reality, which is what we've been talking about tonight. We've been talking about creating a reality. So if our past story is that our families were all separated because of this interruption by the bad people, dominant society, then now we would have an opportunity to correct that. We would pull from where we wanted to, because that's what they keep telling us that we're doing. Our families are not going to be together. Well, now we can make our own family. So, or the Black woman doesn't know how to feel loved. So, well, now she has an opportunity to tell you, well, I want you to hold my hand in public. I know that that's not something that you're used to doing, but that will make me feel better, comfortable, safe. And then you show your daughters that, and then she sees that. And then now we can add on that 2 generations of seeing mommy and daddy hold hands doesn't mean that daddy's a simp. It means that daddy cared enough about how mommy felt to do something he didn't want to do, or do something he never thought about.
But see, it's popular today, but in the 70s it wasn't popular. In the 70s that wasn't quote unquote black manly. You know, Dorabelle, how you doing? What up, though? Today the bag is more important than the morality, your word, honesty, and accountability to our group. In a way that's true, but it's not true, because see, you know, men still want to take care of their women. They still want their wives. If their wives work or their partners work, they still, in a sense, don't really care about that. But it's necessary. It's necessary, because that's how you get along. But I think that the most important thing is that it's building your own realities. And you see what I said, realities, and is that there is no one reality, because everything is based on perception, you see? Because as I told you earlier, there's that racial reality. Then that's relationship reality. And then that's your reality with your child, you know, just like when Monique and her son is mad at him. My mama used to always say, she said, y'all lie. Why y'all lie on me? When kids get grown, y'all start lying on me. And I'll tell my kids the same thing. Y'all lie on me. I didn't do that. And then in a sense, but then sometimes they'll tell me stuff and I did do that. I forget. See, that's the whole problem, is that usually your first child has a hard time, because you don't know what to do with that creature. Mm-hmm. Who the hell is he? Who's he? You know, he's not my friend. He was my friend, and she brought him on the scene, but I know her, but I don't know him. You see, and so you're learning. You're learning. That's why the first child has very good language skills, super language skills. You see, if you have a baby within 2 to 3 years, that second baby is not going to have good language skills. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you've already learned the little motions and mannerisms of the first child, and you know what they want. So a lot of times when they do those mannerisms, you know what they want. But see, that first child, you make them have to ask for everything. See, that's why the second and third child usually, in a sense, has poor language skills. You know.
Yeah, see, that's not my reality, right? Because all of ours talk so much. As soon as they could talk, they haven't stopped talking.
Well, that's good. That's good.
You know, because they have someone to talk to, right? But that too. But what you said about the gap in between those first two, and how I wasn't really ready for the first child, as far as what are we doing here? Not that it was an oops baby, or that I was too young, because I was married and a full grown adult, but I do feel like she's been growing with me. And when she's an adult, I feel like we're going to have this conversation about, no, I didn't do that. Or okay, maybe I did do that. You know, we'll have those.
Oh, you're going to have it. You're going to have it. You're going to have it. But it's the degree. It's the degree in which they want to indict you. That's the whole point.
Well, I guess their reality would have to be more than the bad. I was, this is embarrassing. I was running with my son one time. I was carrying him, and I ran and I fell, and I fell, like tumbled, and it was just this embarrassing sight to see. And I'll never forget that, but he doesn't remember it. And it's so funny that we have these memories where they absolutely remember something that I don't necessarily remember, or I will remember something that is glossed over for them. So, you know, is reality that none of it happened, or that it all happened and it affected them differently? So then, you know, we're creating reality every single day. And then the day you stop doing that, well, that's the day where reality sets in and things start becoming cemented. You know, how they felt about that one thing, if you don't do anything to change it, well, that reality is going to be what's set in stone until something comes and triggers it or challenges it later.
Yeah, well, see, I had to break away from my mother and them and the old folk. You know, Russell Richardson said, they know when you love them, Dr. Winters, Perhaps they don't feel worthy of the love. Maybe they don't feel worthy of the love. That's why you're supposed to make your woman feel worthy of your love by you showing her that respect. But like my grandma and the rest of them, bam, Clyde. She'd be used to cook good food, so I'd be next to the table and I'd try to grab it, and then she, bam, slap me in the mouth. Don't do that. See, but me, I was able to learn how to tell my kids I'm sorry. If I did something wrong, I told them I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And I tried to do that even when they were little. And I think that when you talk to your kids and when you make a mistake, you apologize and you mean it too. See, you mean it too. I used to sometimes like to tell the thing is that, I'm only whooping you. I want them to have a reality feeling in a sense that I only whoop them because they deserve the whooping. So I would say, I don't want to whoop you, and it hurts me to whoop you. And it does hurt me to whoop my child. It did hurt me to whoop them. But the whole point is that they forget I was at work. So how could I know that you did X, Y, Z when I was at work? So your mom had to tell me, but no, they never put it on mama. It's always daddy being mean. And so when you create these series of realities, see, family, we're always making these realities, and each one of these realities is different. We're going to take a little couple of minutes, and now so Eve can tell you about some of her products. Did you want to present, Eve?
Yeah. Look, so you guys, please check my site out.
You got to present again.
Yeah.
You took it down.
Let's go like that. justeveagain.etsy.com. You can check me out there. Check us out there. We've got a bunch of different little trinkets and things, but today I really want you guys to check out the hoodie. If the math ain't mathin' for you the way it is for everybody else, then maybe you can say it with your chest. I think when it comes to creating our reality, we have to be very bold about some things, because if we're not, then people will do things and then we won't have any say, right? Mm-hmm. I think that when we are creating reality, we have to think about what we're doing it for. Earlier,
do we really?
We do, right? You said that your man needs to not come home at the same time every day, keep us on our toes. We should be ready for when he's home or when he gets here. And I think that reality says that you are preparing me for life, because who knows what's going to happen? Expect the unexpected, So I guess I can kind of rock with that. And then inside of that, creating our own reality means that he's doing a whole bunch of different things so that I can be home, because there's a bunch of women's reality where they are not home at the same time that I'm home. Not that we're not all working, but I get home way earlier than a lot of women who live in the city, because they have to work 9 to 5 and I don't. And our reality is that he's allowing me to do that, but that means that he's got to do all of these other different things. So, we meet in the middle, and
yeah. So that's why the home is so important. And that's the one thing I can say is that I was always happy at home. I mean, I wasn't happy at work, but I was always happy at home. My wife always made it happy. But see, the thing is that, your partner, your wife, they pay attention to you for the first 10 years. Then after the second 10 years, then they start having questions. And then in a sense, you have to have explanations. See, I understood when I got married. Because I learned a lot from the wineheads. Yes, I learned a lot from the wineheads. And I learned in a sense is that I knew that when you get married in a sense, you're your partner's first God. I know family out there, you saying Dr. Winter's talking crazy-ish. But most of the time, when you get married, and if your wife is really crazy about you and you're crazy about her, she sees you as her first God, you see. And so then, usually we do something to mess it up. We do something in a sense to let our partners know that we have feet of clay. We kind of ruin the reality. this happened to me, and I know I've said this before, and I'm going to bring it up again. You know, and so then one day I came home and my wife, she was coughing. My wife was usually kind of a little sickly a lot. And so I came home and she was sick. She was sniffling. I don't feel good. I said, and so then, you know, I was playing football. I've been playing football for years. And so when you play football and you get hurt, the coach would say, you can just get out there and play. Don't think about it. So when my wife was telling me that she didn't feel good, and then she was looking all sniffle, eyes all watery, and all that type of good stuff. And I said, well, don't think about it, you know. And she said, what do you mean don't think about it? I don't feel good. And then I said a bad word. I said, my mama never got sick. Oh, why did I say that? When I said that, she looked at me, she said, Clyde, I'll never iron anything for you. And see, my wife, if she made a statement out loud, that was it. And do you know that we were married 50 years? And I think after that, she may iron my clothes maybe once out of 50 years. And, you know, back in the day, you know, your clothes, because if she said it, that was it. She kept her word. She was a woman of her word and stuff, you know. And then my kids would say, you know, mama didn't do that. I said, well, that was your mama didn't let you get away with this. She didn't let me get away with what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to grow up and be a big boy. But anyway, and so then the thing is this, I think that you have to allow your partner to create a reality in which she feels, in which she has control over her reality. And you have to kind of just leave it alone, you know. Here's Dorvell. Dorvell said, and I think it's interesting. He says, Monique said that she was chasing the bag. This is a story we have heard of before. The oldest child feels abandoned and the younger children get all the attention that the first child didn't get. In a way, that's kind of it. I mean, that's what I felt. I felt that my sister came after me and she got all my attention because she got all of my mom's attention. But then I noticed with my wife, she always said she never had any favorites. But it's just that this is the problem. And this is what we don't understand. And this is what makes a lot of people like the Black Authority and you know, Kevin, they don't understand with women is that if a woman has a child, you become second. You become second, and that's just it. You become second. And the thing is this is that most men who have never been married or didn't really get close to their partners, they don't understand is that your woman is going to put you second to the child. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that once you're married, you understand that. I mean, hey, and when they breastfeed, the baby is right in the middle and you just sit there and look like a chump. But that's life.
That is real. Dorvell, yeah, chasing the bag. I agree with that. And it's sad because I guess it's what we were talking about earlier. That first child, depending on when they get here, you know, some people have their first child and they're still babies themselves. So I'm not talking about that one as much as they're lumped in the group too. That parent is learning how to be a parent in real time. I don't care how many books people have told me that they've read, because in real time, that actual parent experience blows the book out the water, because there's no one size fits all for any of these children that we've made. I think once you realize that, then things get a little bit easier because you can start creating realities for each child that you've got coming up. I guess I'm aligned with your wife and how she didn't have favorites. However, I do have favorites. I have a favorite 4-year-old. I have a favorite 6-year-old girl, and I have a favorite 6-year-old boy, and I have a favorite 8-year-old, and I have a favorite 11-year-old. Or I'll say, you're my favorite oldest child. Well, I only have one. You're my favorite youngest child. Well, I only have one. You know, so then you don't have it. You do have, you know, people start to do that. And I like that they get to feel special. You know, they are special in that one.
You make them all. Mm-hmm. You make them all feel special, even though you do have a special. But you make them all feel special. But you do have a special, but you're never going to say it out loud. Marsha Byron says, yes, I think women are insecure even when they come off hard and independent. Yeah, they may be insecure, but you love when you're out courting, you love hard and independent women, because hard and independent women, you don't feel guilty when you quit them because you feel they're hard and independent and they'll be okay.
That's right. They didn't need it.
Yeah.
That hard and independent woman has already told the world she doesn't need him. So he doesn't care when they're done, because she set out in the relationship letting him know that she's got it. Mm-hmm. That's so messed up though, because it's a learned behavior. We've learned that we have to be strong and that we have to be able to do all of these things, when reality is that he was doing it just fine on his own. I'm so angry about that reality, Dr. Winters, this feminism reality. So the reality of our sex, and then what all is involved in what we have to do or accomplish as each gender. But now there's a billion different genders, or people can be whoever they want to be. So reality is that you were a 42-year-old man who feels like a 9-year-old girl. That can't be reality. That's got to be something else.
But it's his reality. It's his reality. Because see, what I found is I don't believe in feminism. You know, a lot of people, I get in arguments with some men. They say that that Black women are infected with, feminism. It's not feminism. It's that their mama told them you can't trust a man. Their mother told them you always got to keep working, and their mother told them that you got to be prepared in case, in a sense, they leave you. And so then, therefore, in a sense, they're always afraid. You see, but it didn't come from them reading the feminism book. It came from their parents. Dorvez or Dr. Winters, what was your 7-year itch like? I was here with divorce papers in mind. I didn't have a 7-year itch, because I was in the library too much, the only thing that happened down the road was, I don't know how long have we been married? I think it was after 15 years. And then my wife said she wanted to go find herself. And I was scared because I said, damn. I said, you already got me. What you got to find yourself? I was really scared because I said, damn, if she's going to find herself, maybe she'll find out she don't need me.
Right.
But that's what women go through. I understand now that's what women go through is that when you have a very good woman, you have a very good partner. And most of the time when she cleaves to you, a lot of times after so many years, your partner starts to feel, maybe I've been doing a lot of shit he wants me to do. What about me? You see? And the thing is that maybe it's not, maybe you haven't been doing a lot of stuff. Maybe you have been doing your own thing. But the point is that I think that sometimes women start to think that they haven't been really being all that they think they want to be, and that somehow you've been holding them back. And so they get this idea that they want to find themselves. Like I look at a lot of videos because I don't have nothing to do. So I look at YouTube and they all show these videos where these women were married 25 years and then they get a divorce and then they say they want their husband back. And because it's, your husband wanted you. Those other guys out there, they don't know you. So what if you're beautiful? You can be beautiful. Like I always tell my daughter, and I'll tell anybody, you can be the most beautifulest woman in your world. If you marry a cheater, he gonna cheat. That's just it. That's just it. If he a cheater, he gonna cheat. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. He's going to cheat. She's going to cheat. You see, I know 2 cheaters, and they were friends. And I'm not gonna name their names, but one of them, her 2 last kids do not look like her husband. So I know that that's not his kids, but that's none of my business. And I don't give a damn. You see, I don't give a damn because see, you have to live with that. You have to live with those things. But see, a cheater is a cheater. A cheater is a cheater. You see, and that's how you want to live your life. Fine, but that's your reality. But the reality of a cheater is that you're never happy to me. The reality of a cheater is you're always looking for that excitement from that first love, which you can never get, I mean, some people are constantly seeking that first orgasm, the real first orgasm, But then in a sense is that you find, or they're seeking that time when they felt so free, see? But you only feel free in love is when you're a teenager. You know why you feel free in love when you're a teenager?
Is it because you don't have any responsibilities yet?
Thank you. You have no responsibilities. And since you don't have any responsibilities, you don't really, in a sense, you don't really see that it's more to love. I remember back in the thing, and my mom would say, "You don't understand what's real." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "In real, you can't get you getting married young, and it's not going to really work out." I said, "Well, just because you and Daddy-O, I used to call my father Daddy-O. I said, since you two didn't work out, that was you two. But I'm not mad at you. Well, you're not going to work out either." I said, we'll see, because I take each day at a time. I said, you created a reality. You created reality when you got with Daddy-O. You created reality. You said it was going to be this, and you said it was going to be that. I said, when Diane told me that it was going to be this and it was going to be that, I said, no, baby. I said, we're going to take each day at a time. Each day at a time. And see, the point is that when you take each day at a time, there's continuous growth. And you have to expect the unexpected. It's just like when I taught my kids how to drive. When I taught them how to drive, I taught them, in a sense, to understand that every day you might have an accident. So don't be afraid when it happens, you see. And that is the most important thing that you have to understand, is that you have to take each day, and whenever you create something, maybe because I felt whenever you create something, they always take it away, just like I do some real super videos, I think, and I was saying, damn, I love that video. And then it might only get 500 views. What? But then I always like to think about Tina Turner. And what did Tina Turner do? She said that she hated What's Love Got to Do with It, but it became her most important song, And Russell Richardson, you're absolutely correct. All parents have a favorite, however, they love all of their children. That's true, you see. And the point is this, is that you find is that each one of your children, like you said, Eve, earlier, what you said, each child's individual. Why did you say that? Even though I know it's true.
Oh, because they need to know that they are it. To me, I think it's because of that conversation about the favorite child. So many parents are comfortable showing the favoritism. They might not say that that's their favorite child, but you can see it in how they're treating the child. And that was always something that I wanted to make sure that if I had children, that they all felt that. And I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but as we've had children, they are all my favorite, and they all have different things that make them my favorite. And the fact that they're all their own unique person and how they're approaching life, just as an 11-year-old or as a 4-year-old. And I see them, their own unique personality, trying to come out. So then it's up to us to foster that. And then it goes back to something you said earlier about the man recognizing that once we have a child, that he's
second.
Yeah. But to me, if he's putting us first, then we're all first. It's just, I guess a time and a place.
That's how you see it.
That's my reality, right?
That's right. That's a woman's reality. That's not my reality.
Well, because in your reality, what you said is, I'm nursing. So now
that's my breasts.
Breasticles are not.
I had them first. That's my breasts. Get out of here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but that's exactly what I'm talking about, because he's putting me first. Because look, you're not going to nurse for me. So now my mastitis that's about to happen because you don't want baby, that we're all taking a hit right now. So that
get him out the bed.
The next step. Yeah. But I want to go back to what you said about our first God. That first 7 years, the first 10 years, we've attached or clung on to him, and everything he says is bond, and we are enamored, and we are following just blindly sometimes. So when that first child happens in that first 10 years of us looking at you as the be all end all, well, now we've got some disassociation, because this little baby who doesn't have any say on anything now has every say on everything.
Right.
My bathroom time, I don't have my bathroom time, it non-existent. Maybe if we're out in public, I can have private bathroom time, but I can't go take a shower and not expect somebody to come knock on the door and ask me for something. It doesn't matter. From when they were little babies crawling around to now, and they can actually ask me for things. I don't have private time unless everybody's asleep. So then I'm thinking about that first 10 years, the second 10 years, and now am I finding myself? Because who am I? I've been yours, I've been theirs, and where do I exist? And if he hasn't done a good job of making me feel like I matter or whatever I want is important, well, yeah, she's gonna want to find herself. Because who did you get attracted to? Because I've learned these behaviors over the past 20 years. I've learned you. So now I'm a little version of you. But that's not who you got with. You didn't get with me like you got with me like me.
But
and
see,
now I don't remember who she is.
But see, that's how the woman feels, and you're absolutely correct. But see, the woman has forgotten that over the years, because of the fact that she didn't want to be bored, that she in a sense provided for a partner different sides of her. And see, and so, but I think that you're absolutely right. I don't think the woman really evaluates herself. I don't think the woman really looks at the relationship and looking at it from a perspective. I tell you this, me and my wife, we were married 4 years? We're married 4 years. And she said, Clyde, you're really terrible and mean. I said, what do you mean? I don't hit you, I don't yell at you, I don't curse you, I don't do any of that stuff. I said, well, you're mean. And she said, okay, you say that. Let's I'm going to be you and you be me. I said, yeah, let's do that. And so when she was me, I said, that's not me. She said, that's you. And that helped me. That helped me to maybe say, hey, maybe where you're coming from, Clyde, you think you're right, but then that's the whole problem. You think you're always right. You think you got everything there. And she said, your biggest problem is you never listen. You don't listen. You see, you don't listen. I said, I was listening to you. She said, I could look and tell you wasn't listening to me. You got to listen. And that really helped me. That made me a better partner. You see, I know families saying, why do I keep saying partner? I keep saying partner because see, marriage, being married is more than just that word married. It's just like children are more than that word children. Your wife or your husband should be more than the word husband or wife. You're trying to be friends. Right. And that's the hardest thing to be is friends, you see. But friendship will last longer than, because see, as a woman, once you stop dropping them eggs, you're not going to be hot like you used to. And you're going to start, we're adults, you're going to start telling your man, if that's what you want, go ahead, just hurry up and finish. Let me know when you're done. Oh, are you done? Yeah, okay, good. Anyway, no, you're not going to sleep. I gave you what you want. Now you got to listen to me and hear what I got to say. Wait a minute, baby. I want to go to sleep. No. See, but that's what I'm saying though, is that's part of the changes. That's why, when they talk about wise women, there's a lot of wise women out there. And see, but it's better when your woman is that old wise woman or your man is that old wise man than just any old man or any old woman. It's very hard. Marsha Byron, she says that I'm always in survival mode. And that's just the way it is. See, that's what our mothers did to my sisters. Like out of my sisters, I think that some of them, I had 5 sisters, and only one of them had a successful marriage. The rest of them had children, you see, and they had relationships, but I think they listened to my mom too much, and I think they couldn't divorce themselves from that idea that they had to be strong, had to be independent. Because when you're strong and independent, look at the movies. In the movies, they always have the blonde lady and the black-haired lady. The blonde lady is always weak, mild. She's always wants to be possessive of the man. But then it's that dark-haired woman, the dark-haired woman or the dark woman that gives up the man. She's so strong, she gives up the man to the blonde, you see? And that's because we've been conditioned to see our mothers did that. Feminism didn't do that. You know, I know a lot of brothers talk about feminism this, feminism that. No, feminism didn't do it, and you fucked up too. See? How did you mess up, man? You messed up because the point is this, is that you don't understand that, like during the Black Power days, no matter what the brothers say, they did want you to stay in the kitchen and just cook some fried chicken. And the Black Panthers too. All of them was the same. But the thing is this, is that women allow us, see, a good woman allows a man to have a false reality. What is your false reality? A good woman allows a man to believe that he's everything. A good woman allows a man to have a reality in which he feels he's in control of everything when he has no control over nothing.
That's real. I was told that the cost of everything is everything. And then from there, if I've bought into reality with you, then you would give me everything. Well, at what cost? I think if we're approaching what Dora Bell just put in the chat about 50-50 in the relationships, if we're only approaching it, I'm giving half and you're giving half, and now together we've got 100%. Well, you're going to be lacking. You're going to be operating in survival mode, and the reality is going to be that your prospects are going to look bleak because you're not attacking the situation 100%. If you give 100% at work, or if you give 100% at school, or if you give 100% in these other environments, but then you're not giving your relationship 100%, then what are we doing here? What is the purpose? I think what you said about our moms messing us up, or messing up some of us with their...
They messed up a whole lot of them. A whole lot of women are messed up because of mama.
Because of their
grandma.
reality. Yeah. How they grew up, or their survival mode being activated because of their environment or whatever they were lacking. But now you've got people who are trying to break these generational curses, or people who are trying to reverse the trauma. And now you've got men who are bending over backwards for these women, strong and independent as they are, trying to operate in this soft and feminine. And it's not real, because reality is that you grew up thinking that you had to take on the world, or thinking that you could do all of the same jobs that the man could do. Dr. Winters, I was not allowed to pump gas until I had a car.
Get out of here.
I was not allowed to. My parents would not let me pump gas. My brother had to go with me, or my uncle had to go with me.
What?
Pump gas. They wouldn't let me take the trash out. But in the same aspect, my brother was not allowed to wash dishes. He was not allowed to do the laundry. Not that he didn't learn how to do it. Not that we didn't learn how to do these things, but they were very strict about certain gender roles.
They were teaching you reality, you see. They were teaching you their realities to make it your reality. Marsha Byron said, that's funny. My married girlfriend said the same thing your wife said. They are all in their 60s too. That's right. A lot of times, in a sense, the thing is this, is that you had to allow a woman the freedom and stuff. And but let's go back to that. How did you feel not being allowed to pump gas or do things like that?
In real time, I felt lacking. Like, these are just skills. Why don't you want me to do it? It wasn't until later that I can appreciate, I like not pumping the gas, and I like not cutting the grass. I like operating in my feminine essence of not smelling like grass or gas or having dirt under my nails because I've had to fix something. But it took until now to realize that, because in real time, when everybody's learning everything and I'm being told that I can't, I think it probably would have been better received if they were able to articulate the why. They were just doing what they were taught, though. They weren't allowed to pump the gas. Their brothers had to do it. Their uncle had to do it. There were just certain things that guys didn't do and certain things that girls didn't do. So as I'm growing up.
But wasn't that good? Wasn't it good in a way that they had those those
Yes,
criterions,
I do. I think that I thought now in real time as I was growing up, I thought that they were keeping me away from it. And I didn't know why they were keeping me away from it. But now I like that we've taught the children that there's a time and a place for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Not that, not that you can't do it. Rites of passage. We were talking about this on another program that I had, and boys doing boy things and then girls doing girl things.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Winters, you can't make a perfect pancake, but you can make a pancake, right? You can feed yourself. So, there's going to be different things that we excel at, and we should nurture those things in the right environment.
Yeah, but you get spoiled because now my wife, so she died in 2020. Now I had to cook, and I said, how did she cook for that 20-something years, 30? How did she cook and have something different? How did she do that? And it's hard for me to think about what I want to cook every day, and I have to cook my own breakfast, blah 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 blah, and all that. And so then you get spoiled because you expect your wife to do these things, and you expect your partner to do this. But I think it's very important. And see, you brought up a very important point in the sense is that your mom, she taught you not to do it, then you learned how to do it later. But then today you enjoy maybe your partner doing these things because, see, in a way, that's why get married? Why get married? Why get married to somebody if you're not going to expect them to do something different than you did before? Right. You know what I'm saying? Something different than what you did before. Dorvell was talking about the download, and he's talking about please use a different word than men building over. In this day, this is a major relationship problem, the download. Well, it's always been some people who are down low, hey, back in the day. But see, the whole point is that some people, they don't know, they give up their masculinity, or they want to do that. And see, because I'm trying to keep this clean because it might be a child, it might be hearing this stuff. I hope not. But the point is that, my father said only women get fucked, and that's just it. You see, so if you're letting somebody penetrate you, then therefore, in a sense, then you got to go that way. Mm. But I found that a lot of people, they're like that because they get the idea. To me, I found that most people who are kind of gay or in that direction, they think they're better than everybody else. They think that they're special. Those were the people when you was in school who always felt they just knew something more than you, and they were the more gifted, and that you didn't understand, and they were doing something that made them special. And I think that that's what they want to do. But I always felt that you're already black, and then you're gonna be gay. That looked like you're just throwing too much on yourself.
Like a struggle at this point. But that's interesting. So okay, Dorvell, I will do better with my vocabulary. However, I do think that the compromise, maybe that's what I was referring to. And once we start compromising little things, then I guess we're expecting bigger things to have another compromise. I feel like if we are attacking our relationships with the same girth that we attack other things, or chasing the bag, or anything else that we're thinking is important, then it wouldn't necessarily be a compromise as much as I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do and you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. We're not saying that we're both doing the same thing, because why would you get with someone who can do the same things as you? We should be doing something different to make something bigger. That's my thought about that.
Yin and yang. It's all yin and yang. It's all yin and yang. The man's cat said loads of truth and sense, facts in Ecclesiastes 7:26. We find more bitter than death. Those women whose hearts are snares and traps, whose hands are chains. Respect and reciprocate. Proverbs 30:30. Please read. I have to tell you guys, don't pay attention to everything in the damn Bible, because the Bible is full of lies. And I'm going to tell you this because, see, when you read the ancient literature, the first human created was a woman. See, and many other things in the Bible are written by men who were afraid of women. They're always, the woman is evil, the woman is this, the woman is that. And the whole point is this, is that's all bull. The woman is your friend. They always make it look like women are out there to trick you, women are out there to snare you. But the thing is this, is that when you get to know women and when you allow yourself to get to know women, you find that it's not as bad as you may think. It's not as bad as you may think. And see, our problem is that we read these books, the Quran, the Bible, and they're teaching us stuff that are anti-female when it's all bullshit. Look at this. That's why in Islam they call it Sharia. Sharia is the law. But see, there's not one Sharia. There's Maliki, Wahhabi, Hanbali. And you notice in a sense, Maliki says the woman should be respected, the woman should be given grace. But most people today are Wahhabis. They follow Saudi Arabia. Watch that woman. Don't let her ass drive. Don't let her be out there. Don't even let her show her damn ankles. What the hell is a damn ankle? Don't let her show her hair. That hair make me get all excited. Think about it. And yet people want to make you believe that this book is everything. No, the book was written by a bunch of men. And the point is this, is that a woman is not your enemy. See, we feel that a woman is our enemy because our reality is that mama told me what to do. When mama said I was going to get fucked up if I didn't do what she told me, and I went out and I got fucked up, mom is a witch.
Or even deeper than that with the Bible. If you were taught that I was created from a rib being ripped out of you, you might feel some kind of way about me. The reality is that I birthed. Y'all didn't birth,
The Sumerian literature makes it clear that we were made out of the rib, not the woman. But go ahead.
See, that story was always kind of strange to me because it just seemed like hocus pocus. Like they don't want to talk about reality, which is childbirth, which is portals and transformation and a transportation, a vehicle of sorts. I think that, is this the same law where, when we're on our cycle, y'all have to be away from us, or we have to be outside in a tent, or
we better, so you might kill us.
Well, if you bleed for a bunch of days and we don't die, maybe that's some kind of magical power we've got going on. I don't know.
And that's why you became the moon god. That's because the moon, that's why the moon was our first god, because the moon represented death and resurrection. And you were death and resurrection. But see, Dorabelle said, I never thought to associate narcissism with homosexuals. Thanks, Dr. Winters. I don't know. I could be wrong. But the point is this, though, is that you are. See, the woman is everything. The woman is everything. A lot of people, a lot of brothers on the manosphere say, Dr. Winters, you're simping out. You can say I'm simping out, but I'm happy. I'm not upset. I can be alone, but I don't feel lonely. I got memories of being with a beautiful woman loving me. I got memories of a woman that in a sense, when I shit on myself, she'll clean the shit off me. I got a woman in a sense, when I threw up, she picked it up. When she threw up, I picked it up. When she was sick, I did that. And see, we were good friends. See, and the point is this, is that I thank God so much that he allowed me to allow my wife to be who she was, that God allowed me to not try to make my woman be what I wanted her to be, but let her be who she was, who she wanted to be. It was, that's just the way life is. But see, we're always so busy trying to make people live in our reality. And sometimes our reality may not be right for them. As Eve said earlier, she said that it has to be a little different. It has to be a little yin. It has to be a little yang. It has to be different. If we're all the same, why are we together? That's just it. That's just it, And that my wife, she was even tempered. I want to go kick your ass. What the hell? I can't do it all the time, but that's me, you see. She might say compromise. I might say, let's go fuck them up. They're all brutes. Bring the brutes down.
Bring them
Destroy the
down.
brutes. You know.
Let's talk about like and love, because you keep bringing this up. You know, you and your wife are friends. You know, we're supposed to be friends, or we're going to be friends longer than we're going to be lovers. Maybe
You are.
You know. So then now I'm in a very deep thought about like and love. When I met you, I liked you. Then I fell for you. So now I love you. Now we have a family, and it's not just romantic in love, but we've got agape love, we've got familial love, we've got
No.
all these different. No, it's all the same love.
No, what you've got, you fell in love, but now you respect, and because you hold him and so much, because he's so highly respected, he seems as though he's everything. Your partner should see you as someone who, I respect you so much that I hold you in high esteem. Remember, high esteem. See, love is not enough. Love is not enough. Mm-hmm. See, love is a word, but love is not enough. You need something else. That's why you said that in your relationship with your partner, you didn't want to keep it boring. Some things you wanted to do to make it the way you wanted it to be. And see, that's because the fact, in the sense, is that that's not necessarily love. Love, I'm not going to say it's a state of mind, because you already taught me something when we talked about that. You taught me that love is a state of being.
Yeah.
Being is different from the mind, because see, as a psychologist, I know that we don't know where the mind is. The mind could be up in the sky. The mind could be in my foot. The mind could be in my left hand. Mm-hmm. Or the mind could be just to the right of me, outside of me. We don't know where the mind is. I know where my brain is, but we don't know where the mind is. But when you said that love is a state of being, then you're saying that's how you feel, that's how you exist, that's what it gives you. See, it's just like when you feel so close to your partner, it makes you feel something that just tickle you. It just tickle you. You know, you can't express it. You know, when I wrote my I wrote, in a sense, a memoir, and it took me years. It took me years to I wrote everything, but I didn't know how to put in my memoir how I love my wife, because see, I bet if I asked you, and I'm not going to ask you this silly question, but if I asked you, Eve, why do you love your husband? You can't put it in words, because see, when you really feel something, if I asked you, how do you feel about your children? You're a good mom. You couldn't put it in words, because see, there's some words that don't exist, and English has a very rich vocabulary, but it's some words that we can't really, in a sense, use to express how we feel. We just go through life and we use these words, but these words, in a sense, may not accommodate how we feel in here. And see, because our realities are always changing, our realities are so dependent on our perception, you know.
I think that when we're talking about the reasons why, you're absolutely right. Once you start trying to put it in words, to me, that's fake. I really do try to exist how I tell everybody. Love is a state of being. I try to show it. You know, it's about what I'm doing, and then do you feel it from what I've done? So, like you talked about your wife earlier, with making sure that y'all had, meals that weren't boring, or that she was cooking for you, and now you have issues trying to figure out what you want to make or whatever. That's a whole process. But I do know that I want y'all to feel good after you eat. I know that I want it to taste good. I know that I didn't want the same thing we had yesterday. So, as long as I'm having these thoughts about how I want you guys to feel after the fact, then hopefully you would have felt the love that was involved in the preparation.
Now we went all the way to the beginning. Because when we began this discussion, Eve, you brought the fact that we're always eating. And see that's the whole point. I remember my mom, in a sense, my mom and my grandmother, they never told me that they loved us. And when I talk to other people in their 60s and 70s, they tell me that their moms and grandmoms never told them they loved them. But they always showed you love through the food they made. Like my mother would make me rice pudding. I love that. My auntie, every Christmas she would make me a caramel cake, and then, and so then you always had these memories of those females in your life who wanted to make you feel loved, and it was through that sharing of the meal, that sharing of the bread, and I think that this is very important in the sense is that we don't allow, and see that's what I'm so happy I allowed my wife to be who she was. Like you said, your husband allows you to get off work and you're home early and you can talk with your kids, and that's very important. And see, that's the thing that I really loved is my wife talked with my children. And and then my son, one of my sons, I was saying, damn, I said, I want to be with your mama. I don't want to be here. And they said, well, just stop that. I don't want to hear that, Pops. Just stop it. Well, I said, I do want to be with your mama. I didn't expect to be here by myself. But then he said, but he said, well, Pops, maybe you're here because when you were younger, all you did was spend your time doing research and researching this and research. And he's spent a little time with us. But maybe now, in a sense, with Mom gone, then you have more time to spend with us. And I said, hey, well, maybe that's true. Only God knows. Only God knows. Only God knows. But the point is this, is that, G says that men bleed, they die. Women bleed, they give life, from Gerald. You're absolutely correct, G. That is the truth, you see. Women bleed to give life. And see, that's the whole point. And see, that's what a real man understands. When a real man gets away from his feelings, when a real man gets away from talking with the fellas and talking to his father don't know shit anyway. I love the hell out of Daddy-O, but some of the things he wanted, I got out of college. I went to my auntie. You always got that fast auntie, And I said I played football. I got good grades. I graduated with 2 degrees. I'm married. I take care of my family. I said, why Pops, why Daddy-O don't really, really act like he's happy about it? He said, because you didn't get any white sex, go with a white girl when you was in college. I said, that is so silly. But see, I understood he couldn't go with white women growing up, but that was wrong. Why are you holding me? Why are you not giving me my due, showing because I didn't have a white girl in college. I could have. They threw themselves at me. To them I was supervised. But I mean, the damn thing is that's not what I wanted. See, and this is the hardest thing. I think this is so true. And you don't know this until it comes down to, I had surgery. Doriel said I had surgery in my arm and couldn't wipe my butt. My wife wiped my behind. And I respect the hell out of her for that. That it is so true. I remember my wife. When my wife, when her cousin told her that her mother and father were never married, and so then I said, well, I've been doing that because your mom always called your father daddy. And I said, as a historian, I know in the 1940s, that's what people would call, they kind of man, daddy. White people, they may have called, the mom might call, but see, most time when you're married, you call your husband by his name. Mm-hmm. And so then she had a nervous breakdown. And so then I was really angry at her. I was really angry at her because she had a nervous breakdown and she didn't want to get out of bed, blah, blah, blah. She was just so sick and stuff. And then the following year, my parents did something to me and I had a nervous breakdown. And then I said, damn, why do I have to go through this? Why do you sometimes have to go through things to know how other people felt? You know what I'm saying? See? And then that's when I learned that my mother told me a big lie. And you know what that lie was? The lie was that she said that God doesn't give you too much that you can't handle. That you can handle. And I said, that's a lie. That's a lie. You just live through it. It's not that you can handle it. You just live through it. Mm. See, you just live through it. When somebody break your heart, damn hell, your heart is broken. Right. Damn. I don't care how old you are, your heart is broken, but you just get through it. You just get through it. Then the first, like my mama growing up, she used to always say, a man never cry. So I only cried 2 times. I only cried one time before my wife died. I cried when she was in the hospital and she had a busted appendix. And then I cried when she died. And then I spent a whole year or 2 years crying every day. Every time I heard a song, every time I looked at this, I can't stop crying now. See? But the point is this, is that I used to want to cry so I could release, but I couldn't cry, because the whole point is this, is that wasn't manly, you see. But now is that it's to know the love, that I experienced. What can I say? And then when I talk to my kids, and then they talk about the love of their mom and what their mom gave them. And so then, and the memories that they have. And that's the most important thing. The most important thing is creating a reality for your child, a reality in which they have good memories. He said, yeah, y'all used to take us to Great America. Y'all used to take us, to Six Flags. You used to take us, in a sense, to the museum, and we went as a family. We used to go to McDonald's as a family. Went here, there, that, this, that. And that's what life is all about. And that's what you have to do, family. You have to, in a sense, create dreams, create images. And even you want to create relationships between you and your partner, so that y'all can have something to live off after they're gone,
I agree. And thank you, Dumez, because we appreciate you guys being here with us for these conversations. When y'all add to it, it helps. I know it helps me think. I think it helps Dr. Winters as well. And then we can bring you thoughts that I wasn't necessarily going to talk about tonight. But the reality is that if we don't have these conversations, then I won't have those thoughts. And then I won't be able to articulate what I've learned to the minis tomorrow. I like learning. And I think that as we get comfortable creating, then we can do more. I feel like we're a stifled people. Like our racial reality is stunted because we're told that we can't do all of these different things. Even like we were talking about at the beginning with Mr. Fuller, and Black people can't congregate because it's not productive, or we don't have these productive communal activities outside of eating. But then we've talked about where that might come from. And if this is the biggest form of love or affection that we're comfortable with, or that we could do without feeling some kind of bad way about it, well, now we would just need to take that activity and expand it. But if we were told that we can't be around each other because all we do is eat and drink and smoke, and we're always just congregating and hanging out, then you might not ever have the thought to do something more next time your family gets together. Yeah. And I like that we can broach these topics together and maybe make a decision about how to move forward, Yeah.
Brad Murray said it took me a while to cry after my mom passed away. It took me listening to Ali Sadiq tell the story of his sister passing away. That shit broke me into tears. And see, that's the whole point, is that's why Eve, that's why I wanted to do this show with you. I wanted to do this show because we always got people on Instagram talking about, Foundation of Black Americans, talking about, we got to differentiate. But what about just what is your reality? Let's check your reality. What is going on? And that's what we need to talk about. And that's what we're trying to do here, family. We're trying to talk about those things that are common, those things that are associated with you. That's why we love you guys who can come and share with us your ideas in the chat, because see, that helps us to even more so think about what is more important. How do we feel? Because see, it's a lot of things that we have on our mind and that we think is stupid. It's a lot of things we think about and we don't express them because we say nobody else thinks like that. You see, but a lot of times we do. We have the same ideas. We're not all a big nigga. We got different opinions.
That's true. But I think one thing that I can agree with Amir, he said, explain my life to a Karen. Nope. Yeah, that reality, some people might take on that reality of trying to explain their experience to someone who is not going to get it. And I feel like that's a whole task when there are people out here who've shared the same experience, and, y'all can get together and make something more. And yeah, people are definitely afraid of honesty. Look, Doraville, if you have to say you don't know, then are you a man? Because right now society is telling us that men are supposed to know things, and then they're also telling us that that's toxic. So
Yeah.
we're operating in a toxic environment where y'all are supposed to be able to lead because of what you know, but we're supposed to do it on our own.
But see, those comments come from people that have nothing to do with nothing to do with us, nothing to do with our culture, nothing to do with who we are. See, we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned as a people. Foundational Black Americans have been conditioned to believe that we don't have a culture, and that's because everything we do, in a sense, everything we do, they take it away, and then because they take it away, over time, our children and other people believe, in a sense, that 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 wasn't our culture. You know the biggest reality. Do you know that the American Caucasians, white supremacists, they committed ethno genocide against the people that don't even know that they lost everything, and they didn't even kill them off. And you know who that is? That's the foundational Black American.
Of
They
course.
made us. They made us. They made us. They made us forget about our Aboriginal heritage. They made us forget about our Black Irish heritage, and they told us that we were all just Africans.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they were able to commit genocide because they told us in a sense that we were just Africans. They told us that our grandma, that we light skinned because every one of our grandmamas was raped.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they told us that our names that we got our names from them, our surnames, even though they hate us, and they wouldn't want you to have their surname. But see,
Right.
they were able to take away our heritage, take away our history by just making us feel that we were all just Africans. Yes, we do have we have African ancestry, but we have other ancestries too. You see, we have other heritages. And see, this is the whole point in it. That's why we had to create a larger picture. We had to, in a sense, begin to go down a path that's kind of scary. Why is it scary? Because see, we had to go down a path of love. What the hell you talking about? We had to go down a path of love because, as you said, Eve, love is not a state of mind. Love is a state of being. You see, if you love your partner, you love your children, you love your parent, well, you can love somebody else that's not your partner. That's not your child. That's because you learn in a sense, but see, most of us have an infantile feeling of love. And we feel that the only way that we can really show love is we got to have sex with that person. You see, that's why I think a lot of people become homosexual because they feel that since they really like somebody, they feel that the ultimate like is to have sex with that person, and that's just the way it is. But I mean, damn, the point is this is not true. You can love a person and you don't have to have sex with that person. Mm-hmm. You can love a person by just, in a sense, understanding that there's platonic love. I love you for being you.
Right. I agree. I think reality is that, once we start operating from this state of being from love, then people will stop trying to be in control of everything. You will realize that you have a role and that you can function wonderfully in that role and not have to do much more than that because everybody's doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Creates Junior, taking our culture, bastardizing it, and using it to create the illusion of their existence and belonging on this planet. I'm thankful for shows like this to help me see through it all. We thank you for coming. Tomorrow when I do my show, I'm going to do a show on Black culture, and I'm going to try to tie all of our culture together. So check me out tomorrow at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. I'm going to be talking about our culture and what our culture is, how it originated, and the many aspects of our culture. Because see, a lot of us don't even understand the uniqueness. See, we people are saying, "Damn, why are foundational Black Americans unique?" You're unique. You're unique because your descendants are the Aboriginals. You're unique because your descendants are black Irish, who are great architects, who built the music over there in Ireland and Britain. And in a sense, they were brought over here and they were made to be chattel slaves. They didn't come in the potato famine. That was white people. Mm-hmm. See, the black Irish came. They owned estates. You see, they owned farm, and it was these poor whites. And see, and they were so the white man was so slick. While he had the black Catholics and the black Protestants fighting each other, after they just about killed each other off, they took over. See, they always use our disunity against us. And how do they disunify us? Because they get us to play into our nationalities. I'm a Hebrew, Jew, Moor, Cherokee, Yoruba, Yamasi, Igbo. So they have us fight each other. But the craziest thing to me, Eve, is why do we fight each other when we see them sticking together to fight against us? I don't understand that.
That tribalism thing is real. It's like now we're trying to be black first, and they should have been black first. And if they were black first before these other people decided they were going to be, I'm white and I said so, then there would have never been a takeover, because they would have seen the game before it was even played. Mm-hmm. But when we are operating individually, my castle, that's your castle over there, well, I don't have to love you over there, because you're not even me, even though we look like each other or we share a story. But I was thinking about what you were talking about, how we've been ethnogenocided off of everything that's ours. That interruption and then insertion of a bunch of lies. That reality is that if people go back to the source and find the truth, well, now we're in a very powerful position. And I don't know if people are ready to take the reins as much as they would just like somebody to tell them what to do. And if you are a person who's waiting for someone to tell you what to do, well, your reality is that you're going to be lacking.
Yeah.
But the people who are out here trying to make a way and create their own reality, well, I think that they can bridge the gap.
Yeah. But it's understanding and realizing, in a sense, is that you don't want to be a traitor, because see, sometimes we can be working for the benefit of the Caucasian and don't know it. And we can be thinking that we're really trying to help everybody. How you doing, Timbo? But a lot of times, in the sense, we have to really understand and really think about it. Dorel says Lario Miles, Afro and Indigenous Intersectionality in America is known as Nomen. It is a cool book, but yes, it's true. But the thing is, this is that I've been out here writing for years, and so there's a lot of stuff out there. But the most important thing is that we had to learn how to love. We had to, in a sense, begin to understand that our realities is more than one reality, and we're trying to live these realities. Eve, did you want to say something? It's been 2 hours before we close the show.
Look, just if you have a chance to check out my site, I would love for you to want the math to math. I'm really feeling the statement because it speaks to everybody across environments. People see that their paychecks aren't adding up, or they're seeing that who they voted for. I voted for Obama once. Okay, just like you, Dr. Winters. I'm not going to say
I voted twice.
Oh,
I was a chump twice. My wife didn't vote for him at all. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you saw a black man, a melanated man in office, and nothing happened for the melanated people who are here. The math won't math, and I think that when people get comfortable calling things out, that's when things start to change. We've been eating a lot of shit, and then we're told we're supposed to like it. No, I don't like shit. I don't want to eat shit. And I need people to get comfortable, not having funky doo-doo breath, right? Because we're trying to change the narrative. We're trying to create realities where the children that we're birthing and rearing are going to be able to grow up and make their own reality. They can pave their own way, and it won't be because of my trauma or your trauma, holding them back. But if you're told that you got to eat shit for breakfast, well, that might make you grow up and feel some kind of way about your reality.
Yeah, and that's true, and it's very important. And I think that, but anyway, family, we'll talk to you guys next week, and hopefully you'll tell other people about our conversation tonight, and put a like right now. Put a like on the video.
Hit the like on the video.
That's right, and subscribe so you'll know when the next video is coming out. And we love you guys, and we love the chat. How you doing, TW? And we love all of you guys because, see, again, you're allowing us to think, and that we don't know everything. You guys take care.
All right. Black first.
Bye. Black first.